with a lot of these matchups. So.
And that's like before the camera rolled, we had talked about South Williamsport and how you beat them earlier in the year.
Yep.
And then as the playoffs rolled around, and it's kind of like I feel the NFL is like the hot team at the end, the last quarter of the season,
Yep.
kind of snowballs in and
Yep.
makes a run for the championship. And that's kind of like we talked about South Williamsport. You beat them early in the season, they got on that roll at the end of the season, and
Yep.
they rolled right into the semifinals.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing you got to look at, and I think Southern Columbia does a great job of that, getting ready at the end of the year, and that's when you need to be your best and have the people that help you. So it's just, I mean, there was 3 years before we won districts that we lost to Muncie, and we beat them in the regular season.
Yep.
And then they ended up beating us in real close games. If you want to win one, it's that district championship game,
Yep.
not the regular season game or
Yeah.
that district semifinal. But that's just the way it goes. I mean, there could sometimes be two different teams depending on injuries and different things that could happen throughout the season. If you play week 3 and then in week 10 or 11 or 12 in the playoffs, it could be a different matchup.
You might be facing the same team, but it's not the same team.
No, they might have figured something out and have a different quarterback in there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They might have had some guys injured early in the season that are now back. Or
Yep.
you
Maybe
could have
young
some guys
came on at the end of the
Yeah,
season.
a guy,
Who's this guy?
yeah. It kind of got better as the year went on. So
Yep.
that's the great thing about high school football.
That's what makes high school football so great.
Yes.
Is when the season ends and the next season is, you take your eraser and you erase that chalkboard, and we got a blank slate.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Is like every year's a journey. Every group of
Absolutely.
kids is different. You got to put the puzzle pieces together, and it just makes it's fun.
And I think anybody watching these videos loves high school football, and they understand that blank slate, to see the teams after week 1, 2, 3, and so on, you get to build what you're going to be as you make a playoff run or just try to win your league. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It makes it so awesome.
Yeah, whatever your goals are. I mean, every coach I know at this time of the year is excited.
Yep.
They have the highest optimism for what their team can be, and in which they should, and they're working hard to get the most out of their kids. And
Absolutely.
that's what a great part about coaching.
Yep. Like we talked about before the camera rolled, you got to be a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a coach, a father, a
Yep.
best friend.
And you got to balance all those things to be the best you can. So
Yep.
it's not an easy job, but it's a rewarding job.
Yep. Now, I asked this question to all the coaches in the preseason, like technology. You've been doing this 9 years.
Yep.
In 9 years, how has the technology helped you and give you more time back than it did 9 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is the stats on Huddle. I have a couple guys do stats for me, and they can do it right there on an iPad on the sideline, and I just got to look at it and make sure, you know what I mean, and then I don't have to go through and watch the game afterwards and worry about stats.
Yep.
So that's huge. Another thing that we've done that has helped us is we have done the end zone cameras.
Yep.
And zoomed in tackle to tackle, and just angles and blocks and different stuff we can pick up there to help us improve.
Absolutely.
At one point, we tried the Huddle sideline and kind of got away from that, where you kind of have instant replay live there. But we just don't have a big enough coaching staff to utilize that the way we could.
Yeah.
I mean, we looked at it a little bit at halftime, but we didn't have time. Our quarterback is our safety. Or last year, he played DN against South Williamsport. He doesn't have time to look at an iPad. We're so small, the kids are playing both ways in special teams.
The two plays he probably gets off is on the kickoff and a punt. So I mean, he's getting a drink and getting some air. He's got to get worried about getting back out there.
Yeah,
you know?
so there's a lot more technology out there than what we use, but those are some of the ways that it's helped us. I'd say the biggest thing is just the way stats can be done. Have a couple guys there, just an iPad, and at the end of the game, the stats are ready, and then that end zone camera up in there. That's been huge for us. We don't trade that with other schools for our film, but we use it ourselves and utilize it as coaches and show some points to our players.
Oh yeah.
So.
And that, like, I asked Troy's staff, how much time a week do you think the technology that you have saves as opposed to 9 years ago? Their answer was it saves a day, and that's humongous.
Yeah. I would say for us it's probably 8 hours a week.
Wow.
It would save us on just different things, doing stuff.
Yep. That's crazy.
And it's just like everything else. Technology's changing
by the
high school
second.
football.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's funny, like I said this to Jimmy and Joe. what's the technology going to be like in 10 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think of how fast it progresses. Yeah,
It looked 9 years ago from today.
Yeah.
What's it going to be 9 years on the other
yeah,
side?
probably more than you can even imagine. So it'll be interesting to see.
And then, like we talked about this before the camera rolled about diehard fans.
Yep.
Like they're going to be there, win, lose, or draw.
Yep.
They got your back.
Yep.
Look in the camera and say stuff to the guys that come there for 9 years and they have your back every game,
Yeah.
or you win by 50 or you lose by 50.
Yeah, it's probably one of the greatest jobs of being a coach is when you look out there and you see those fans that are always there. And you win a big game like an overtime in Old Forge and you look up there and they're screaming their heads off. And you can't thank them enough for being there for the team. And it's part of the reason why a lot of kids play. I mean, the atmosphere we've been in some games and the support we get from the Canton community is just, I think it's unmatched.
It's unbelievable
Yeah.
for a small little school like Canton to have the backing and the support you get.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you look up in the stands, it's the most priceless feeling. You're never, as a kid, you're never going to get that feeling again if you can never play football again.
No, these kids will remember that forever. And when they look up there and we look up in the stands, it's all that hard work we put into it is worth it because those people love Friday nights. And they love Canton football and
they live for that 10-week span that high school football starts because it gives them 10 weeks of greatness, you know?
Yep.
Even if you finish 3-7,
Yeah.
it was the best 10 weeks of the year.
That's what I tell the kids. I said, these fans come to watch you guys play Canton Warrior football.
Yep.
They come to watch you fly around, you hustle. And the diehard fans, win or lose, they still love their team.
Absolutely.
But they want to see that kind of effort, that kind of commitment.
Yep,
to win.
because that's the label, Canton football. This is what it is. Boom.
Yeah.
So it gives all the young kids coming up, that's what you strive for, to
Yeah.
have that.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And knowing Canton, I'm sure I'll be interviewing you again later because
Good.
you'll be going into the playoffs. I appreciate your time. And for PAFootballnews.com, I'm Lindsey Bennett, and this is Tyler Seacrest, the Canton head coach. Thank you.